Good morning and welcome to Mayor's Weekly. Pleased to have you with us today. And as I mentioned, probably 2 segments back, that we would devote some additional segments to talking about Foothills, and that's what we're going to do today. Right around the corner, September 9th and 10th. And joining me today is Lisa Myers. Lisa has literally been feet on the ground with Foothills for several of our Foothills events. Lisa, I believe maybe last year, because you had taken a different job within the city, maybe you didn't have any involvement, but you're back this year, aren't
Yes,
you? And,
full speed.
And let me tell you, Lisa was a part of an integral part of bringing the organization to how we run Foothills. It was a loosely run event before, and if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. And given the size of this event, you can't operate with that mindset. You have got to have a plan that you can execute, deploy your people to make it happen. And I know I watched Lisa as she was bringing that together, and she developed a lot of what I'd say voluminous material, and did it in such a way that it became a reference book. And Lisa, we're glad to have you back involved with Foothills, because like I said, probably you know the inner workings of the organization better than anybody. Lisa, we talked a little bit about Foothills last year, and in a previous segment, what I told folks that the Monday after Foothills is over for 2022, we'll begin to talk about 2023.
Yes,
It's work that goes on all year. It's not like we put our heads together a couple of weeks ahead of time.
Right.
It's just you couldn't do that. But Lisa, last year, of course, the year before, COVID prevented us from having the festival, and last year I think there was still some COVID overhang, if you will. I think our attendance, folks that estimate that probably in the mid 20,000 range, but I think that's gone, and weather permitting, this could probably be the largest Foothills ever. A great talent. And another thing I'd like for you to touch on a little bit about vendors and how those folks have been impacted. Fuel prices, COVID caused some folks to get out of it, and we may not see as many vendors as we've seen in the past, but you know that better than me. Kind of give us an overview of that, Lisa.
Well, this year I've got 136 vendors, but that's
How many?
136. That's
What?
including food vendors, our businesses, and our partners.
How does that stack up against previous years? Do you know?
It's actually pretty good.
Is it?
And I think we are coming back. Like you said, last year COVID did really it affected everything. But I think still this year it's still got some that it is still affecting. Like some of them got sick, some of them aren't able to come this year. You know, got a husband down sick, because it's still affecting things. So it made a big impact on everything.
Well, I know you had some concerns early on, and most of these vendors, a lot of them have big heavy-duty truck pulling trailers. Fuel was bumping up on $5 a gallon, and that was having an impact. So, well, that's encouraging. And so, with all that you've been doing, Lisa, let me just open for you to talk about what you've been doing and what you see for this year's Foothills.
Well, I've been contacting vendors for this year. You know, they'll come in on Friday. We have 3 different intervals they'll check in. We have a 8 to 10, 10 to 12, and a 1 to 3, depending on where you're located within the festival.
Right.
That's when you'll check in. Check-in will be behind the Civic Center in the big parking lot right off 18th Street. Now, a lot of our people that are out of town, you know, I tell them to call me, and I will let them know, but we will have signage on how to get to that parking lot. And when they'll check in, and there will be directional people, whether it's our personnel or volunteers, which we always ask for volunteers, that will direct them in which way to go, because by then, on Friday morning, barricades will be put up by 6 o'clock. So we'll have to have our people to direct these people where to go. Those are my directional folks. Then we'll have placement people, like we'll have a person between third and fourth and fifth. That person is like a hospitality person that says, oh, they've got this, we'll put a cardstock at check-in on their windshield, under the windshield wiper. It'll have their space number, say 145. Once they're going down through there, our directional people will say, okay, they need to go down to the next block. They'll get down to that block. The personnel down there will know, okay, they go over here in this space. And they'll get them guided in the right direction on where to go. And then that vendor can get set up. They have a time period. It tells all the guidelines on the paperwork of once they're set up, they move their car out of the Foothills area because the next group will be coming in. And it's a whole lot safer. Once that area is done, all those vehicles are gone. Just get all your stuff out.
Do you have a time you'd like to have your vendors in place by on Friday?
Friday, yes. We want them in place and cars out of the way by 3 o'clock.
By 3 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Because we'll start bands at 5.
Right. So it looks like our vendor turnout is going to be better than you had thought early on, and that's a big piece of it because Foothills has such a variety, and it appeals to different people. Some people are not interested in the music and in the vendors. Now, will our food court be here on the west side of City Hall like it has in years past?
Yeah, it'll be between the City Hall and McGehee, and it's full.
It's full?
Yes, it's full, and I do have, like, refreshments outside the food court, like shaved ice, Coke floats. I've got a homemade ice cream group coming. I've got them scattered out throughout the festival because, you know, if you're down in the Family Fun Zone, which is down by the Civic Center, I've got lemonade, you know, little things down there for them because you get thirsty, so that makes it very convenient because our Family Fun Zone is going to start about the bridge on 19th and go east. And they'll have all the rides and everything set up down there. So it'll be from Corona all the way to 6th Avenue.
Well, Lisa, we talk a little bit about the entertainment district, and the entertainment district is approved by the council. It's marked in stone until they decide to do otherwise. And what we ask people to do to be understanding of that, if you elect to go outside the entertainment district with alcoholic beverages, then you run the risk of arrest. So pleased with how people in years past have behaved at Foothills. When you bring a crowd of that size, you have music and people having a lot of fun, whatever. And last year, we only had one person that had to have a little coaching on proper behavior, and I think that's a real tribute to our police department. You know, we will have extensive police coverage, and you know, I don't want this to sound high-handed or whatever, but we have zero tolerance for misbehaving at Foothills. We want you to have a fun time and eat, enjoy the music, whatever else you enjoy, but be on your best behavior.
Yeah, that's what they should
do. Good. Lisa, a little bit of discussion about the behind the scenes, the small things of preparing for this. We've talked about probably all of these vendors, the vast majority of them, require electrical service.
Yes.
And nothing more disastrous than to have your vendors come and the electricity doesn't work.
Right.
You've been working on that, have you not?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Very detailed. Exactly. This morning, I just left with the people with the electric.
What we do, we use that electric company. We know where our outlets are at. This professional company will test every outlet to make sure it's functioning. You know, as we know, electricity, things could change at the snap of your finger, but we'll be checking that up to when the vendors arrive. If we have malfunctions, and we have a plan to address that immediately, don't we?
Yes, we have somebody on call to call if we happen to have something go wrong.
Right, and so, Lisa, I think what I hear comments about the talent lineup. I believe people are really happy about that. I think it's going to be top drawer.
And our vendors are coming out of Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, North Carolina. These are some of our food vendors. I mean, too, also.
Well, now, we had all the food vendors are good. Let me say that right up front. But one that really drew a lot of favorable comments last year was at the crab or lobster.
Cousin's Maine Lobster. They're going to be here.
Will they be back here?
Yes, they are.
They'll be back
Got
this
them lined up. Because you have to pay attention when you pull these food vendors in on where their plug-in is at and also what side they serve from. They may serve from the passenger side versus the driver's side. So you got to be careful where you're parking them.
Right.
So all the little things that probably people don't think of, it really makes a difference because you want to make it easier for your vendors to come in.
Well, we usually have an abundance of hot weather. Will we have our cooling fans this year?
Yes.
We will.
I think we've got about at least six in place.
Okay.
And we'll have all that'll start come Friday morning, putting everything into
place. If
place.
the heat gets too intense, you can go stand in front of one of those and cool
That's
down
right.
quickly, can't you?
That's right.
Good. Well, Lisa, I appreciate what you're doing to make Foothills a success. It will be a success. It says so much about our city to so many people.
Yeah.
Talks about our culture. As Lisa pointed, we have vendors coming from across the southeast. We know that we will have attendees here from across the southeast, drawn here by the music lineup. And I was speaking to a group yesterday, and not being critical of our neighbors up in Coleman, they have an event called Rock the South. But as I was reading about that, and if you go to Rock the South, you need to take your wallet and somebody else's wallet to get in the door. If you spend any money at Foothills, it won't be to get through the door. It's free the whole way, is it not?
Just whatever you decide to buy and eat. That's
right.
it.
And I told the folks yesterday, as long as I'm mayor, my commitment is to make sure it is always free. A person can gather the family, come here and have a good time, and not deplete what money they have.
Exactly.
Right. Again, thank you, Lisa. Thank you for being with us, and we'll look forward to being with you next week.